There are different levels to dating that people need to be aware of.
If one day we wake up and we figure out that, damn, I done wasted 5 years and we still here.
What's up? It's your boy, A to the L to the A to the N. I'm Alan.
And my name is Nekol.
And welcome to the Howze of Love podcast.
Howze of Love is a relationship podcast where real talk meets real solutions.
Over here, we offer laughter, wisdom, and discuss some of the hottest topics hot off the press.
This podcast dives deep into love, connection, and everything in between.
Each episode, we tackle the tough topics plaguing our community or plaguing social media. So over here, we want you to support the channel, like, subscribe, and become one of our house guests.
Over here, we tackle honest conversations about trust, love, marriage, conflict, intimacy, and more, all with a mission to inspire more healthy relationships, strong families, and fewer broken homes.
So whether you're single, committed, in a relationship, in a situationship, or somewhere in between, engaged or married, Howze of Love offers a little bit of something for everybody. So come and be a part of the community of love, because here, in the end, love wins. All right, so first things first. One of the things that we talked about before, the dating pool, right? The dating pool having piss in it or what have you. We also have discussed some of the things that a date is and what it is not. So today we want to tackle the 6 stages of dating. With the 6 stages of dating, there are different levels to dating that people need to be aware of. A lot of times, people don't have these conversations about dating, about the courtship, about the process, right? Everybody want to get to the end result and then upset when it doesn't work out in their favor, right? Mm-hmm. So some of the things about dating that you need to be a part of and that you need to go and grow through is just as important to discuss as much as being in a situationship leading to a relationship. Is just as important.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons we wanted to do this episode to talk about the 6 stages of dating, and I know people talk about 8 stages, 4 stages. We're going to give y'all 6. I think it's important to talk about because people need to be on the same page, right? Like if you're out here dating, you need to know what you want out of the dating situation and where you expect to go, but also just to kind of level set, like what that looks like, what it really does look like from the point of wanting to go out there and start dating, meeting somebody, and we know the rest. You know, so it's a whole progression, but we're going to get into the 6 stages of dating so we can all be on the same page when we're out here looking for our person.
Absolutely. And I think that's the important piece, being on the same page, right? That involves communication, that involves understanding, that involves being able to emotionally regulate your feelings when you don't agree necessarily with what the other person is saying. That also involves a lot of compromise, right? Because a lot of things that we do are usually self-centered around the things that we want out of it. Mm-hmm. But we don't necessarily think about what we need to put in it in order to get the outputs that we seek.
Yeah, and I think if you think about the stages of dating before you actually enter the dating pool, you have more of a real neutral perspective of how things will probably go, or, you know, how things should progress. Because I think another thing, especially with women, men too, we don't think about progression. We know, especially for women, I'll speak for women, when we know we want to go out and date, most likely we're like, oh, we want our husband or whatever. But you have to make sure you're monitoring the steps of progression. Otherwise, you might be stuck in the same place forever.
No, go ahead and speak for me because you was about to start. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I won't do that.
Right.
I feel like for some women, the men stay at this one place, so that makes us stay at that one place, like the beginning phase, and it doesn't progress. It doesn't progress. And if one day we wake up and we figure out that, damn, I done wasted 5 years and we still here.
But
so I think it's important to know the stages.
But who said that I wanted it to progress, right? Sometimes when you enter into the situation...
that's why we're going to get into the stages.
You know what it is before we even get there, right?
That's why we're going to talk about the stages. Yeah, and kind of get into what each stage kind of means. Everybody's situation is different, but each stage for the most part is universal. things may go different ways, right? At different stages, but true. We don't know what he wanted in the beginning, so we gonna just get into all of that.
And let me preface this by saying, before y'all come at us at the comments, this is not the perfect scenario for everybody. It's not a one-size-fit-all approach. We're just giving you the steps that we believe in, that we think are most effective, based on people that we've spoken with, based on our anecdotal viewpoint, based on friends, family, or what have you, that have given us some insight. So don't come at us.
And let's be clear too, because we haven't even, by the time we're filming this, we haven't even launched the podcast, and we got all these comments and stuff like that, or how are y'all going to give relationship advice, whatever. We are grown people, okay? We've dated, by the time you get to our age, or by the time you get to adulthood, you've dated, you've experienced different types of relationships, situationships, and this is all coming from our personal history. Like he said, friends come to you know how it is. Your friends come to you about the situationships, relationships, your family members. We know we have people in our family who date, are in marriages, whatever. So this is all from personal experiences, lived experiences, and conversations we've had with people who are everywhere from single in situationships or married for years. So don't come for us. We have the credentials, okay? Because people love to come for us.
I know, right? Yeah. So it's all good. So let's get into it.
Stage one?
Stage one, right? I know y'all dying to hear about it, right? Hear about these 6 stages. So stage one, boop.
Stage one is the initial attraction. It's like the approach phase. Right?
Girl, ooh, dang, she fine as hell. Ooh, she look good. I wonder if I can get an opportunity to take her out. Dang, let me hit her in the DM. Let me see what she talking about as she in this grocery store alone. Oh, she at the car wash by herself. Let me approach her and see what type of time she on. So there are different
ooh, girl, he about to be my husband.
True.
This is all based on what? Based on it's all based on what?
It's based on an emotional response, and it's the tingly sensation that you get when you initially see something that you like, right? Those are the hormones, the endorphins, the dopamine, the oxytocin that releases when we get that euphoric feeling and we feel like, hey, I'm going to go talk to her.
Yeah, but based on what? It's all based on physical attraction, right? You don't know this person, right?
Right.
It's based on physical attraction. It's based on what they're wearing. It's based on how their hair is. It's based on what they're driving. All of these things that kind of give this, it appeals to your senses.
Absolutely.
Right? So that's what it is.
Yeah, and I think when it appeals to your senses, you're more than likely to peek behind the tent, see what it's about, right? You're more than likely to go approach just to get an initial. Sometimes the approach and the initial attraction don't necessarily mirror, but you know, you shoot your shot. Shoot your shot, right? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right?
So this is stage one. It's finding someone that you're attracted to, or finding someone that you're mutually attracted to, but you'll find that out, right? One person may be attracted to the next person. The other person may not be so sure, but they still connect, whatever. This is phase one.
And I think it's important to know in phase one, right, that fellas, approach with respect. Approach with caution, right? Give us some space. There needs to be some distance in between y'all. It needs to be respectful. Hey, excuse me. Hey, ma'am. Hey, you look good. Oh, I like your eyes. Oh, I like your watch. It has to be something. Not, oh, that ad look good, little mama. Can you... It can't
be clear. Be clear, because that does happen, and some women are okay with that. So it's all based on what you're looking for, what you want.
That's true.
And what you respond to.
But over here, as we look to grow, develop, and build more healthy, happy relationships,
that's true.
It has to be a respectful exchange in the initial attraction.
Exactly. That's true. And that's what we're all about for sure, right. Is, fewer broken homes. So if you are falling for that, ladies and guys, if you're actually catcalling like that, you don't want nothing serious, and that's not kind of what we're doing over here. But it's a reality.
It is.
It happens, and the reality is, if you are looking for something serious, don't do that. Get yourself together before you approach a classy woman trying to get to know her.
What would you say are some of the things that you've heard over the years, being an attractive woman?
From a disrespectful?
No, just approach? From an approach.
I've heard the lame stuff, the you must be an angel, whatever, that little heaven line. I've heard that.
The corny lines?
The corny lines.
Did they work on you?
No, I mean, they might have got a giggle out of me, but I look at you as like, unless I already have known something else about you or whatever, like most likely that's not gonna work with me. But you have the corny pickup lines, you have the disrespectful, a pink shirt, a red dress. No, that's
Hey, little mama. Hey, little mama.
Wait, do y'all do that where you from?
Where I'm from,
Like a red dress.
It's a different level based on where you are.
Do they call women by what they got on?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, little red.
Okay, yeah. So all of that, whatever you got on, that's what your name is. So I've had that, but I've had some respectful men approach me too. And that's just calm and serious about just, straightforward.
So what's been the difference between when the straightforward, respectful approach and the cat calling?
Yeah, you're more
difference?
As a respectable woman who is looking to enter a serious relationship, find their significant other, grow a family. You're more inclined to give that person your number, invest time in getting to know that person if they are respectful, if they approach you without all the corniness, the cat call, and all of that. So
right, and I think it's important too, ladies. Don't come for me, but I'm gonna say it. It's important that you shoot your shot as well. Times have changed, right? It's modern dating, right? So it's not shooting your shot where you got to be cat calling or you got to be money counting or you got to do something outlandish, right? It's just as important with how you approach the guy or how you send choosing signals to let the guy know that it's okay to approach.
I was going to say, I mean, we do actually shoot our shot, but it's more subliminally. Most of the time, we're not out here doing it super directly, but we definitely shoot our shot. For sure.
And what are some ways that women shoot their shot?
We make ourselves seen or noticeable. You could be in the gym and I know a lot of females have done this. They go to the gym because they know that this guy works out at this time by this machine every day. So they go and they, try to look cute and try to look like they cutesy in the gym or, you should send those type of, you make yourself feel or become or seem available, hoping that man will ask for your number.
Have you or any of your friends done the old school approach, like dropping a handkerchief or acting like a damsel in distress or acting like, getting groceries out the car, you can't lift the water, so you want him to bring the water in or...
The type of female I am, I haven't done that. I'm more of a strong, independent woman. So no, that won't really work for me. But we have learned, we do have conversations that men are more attracted to women who need them, who feel like they can come to their rescue. So yeah, I know people who have tried it. Yeah, right. Like, oh my God, I'm struggling. Can you help me? Yeah. Or trying to gauge if they can help.
Okay, and then I think also in the initial attraction, right? As you're engaging, fellas especially, as you're having a respectful conversation, as you're having a respectful dialogue, that's a conversational point between two people. Just don't dominate, right? It's important to fill her out, right? And it's okay to ask for her number. And if she feels more comfortable giving you her social media and y'all talk in the DM first, you have to be okay with that. It is not okay to not be okay that a woman rejected you. You have to move past that. Hey, you shot your shot. It didn't work out. Maybe she has a man. Maybe she's in a relationship. Maybe she has a situationship. Or maybe she's just not attracted to you. You have to move on.
You have to move on. Don't be disrespectful, because that's one of the things I hate. The guys where I'm from do it a lot. When you turn them down, they get to being disrespectful. Oh, you was ugly anyway. Oh, you this. Oh, you whatever. But you wanted my number. So guys, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, and ladies, please, if you feel like that guy may be of interest, have good dialogue. Don't be cold and standoffish, right? But if you're not feeling them, just be honest and move on, right? Roll your window up if he's trying to holler at you in the car. Push the basket if he's trying to holler at you in the grocery store. Walk off and keep going. It's okay. But what is not okay, and I think the emotional response for some guys, not me, but I've seen it, right? The emotional response comes in, I'm approaching you respectful, and the least that you don't do is acknowledge me by saying, hey, or hey, I'm good, or hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for the compliment, but I'm taking or in a relationship. Just something to let them know, like, hey, I appreciate it, but move on.
Yeah, and so we're going to get into the next phase in a second, because this is leading into that. But what I was going to say is that, guys, you can speak for females too if you want, but y'all probably won't do this. Guys, if a woman says, no, thank you, I have a man, please don't be persistent. Please don't say I don't care. Please don't say, well, can you have a friend? I hate that. That happens so often, and that leads to more broken homes, and that's not what we're going for.
Absolutely. And I think that's the piece, right? Whether you're into that situation, line of communication or not, that's on you. Everybody has a right to choose. But over here, as we're trying to build more homes, build more families, connect people, and build up some confidence and some character about ourselves to be more attractive on the dating market. I think that's important to understand what role each man and woman plays in order to get the outcomes that you seek. So you bring up an excellent point.
Yeah, and that could be a whole nother episode because we didn't.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the text message off of Instagram when the guy was trying to go for that girl that was in a relationship. But we'll probably do an episode on that.
Yeah.
But so once you are initially attracted to somebody and y'all mutually agree to exchange numbers or whatever, this is what we get to phase 2, which is the getting to know phase.
So in the getting to know phase, you want to extract different conversations they're going to make people think. You want to challenge people intellectually. You want to know that you are getting a good bang for your buck as far as the conversation goes. So yes, it's important to understand what the person learned from his or her last relationship that they've grown from in order to not bring it into a current relationship. Yes, it's important to understand the background, the culture, the family dynamic, the high school, college, and maturity progression throughout life in order for you to understand how he or she views the current dating market.
Yeah, like this is your opportunity. If you're seriously dating, you're seriously trying to find your person, like to build a family with, this is your time to ask the questions. This is your time to really, communicate and try to learn their communication style. This is phone, text, email. Well, people don't really email unless you're but FaceTime. Don't just be texting. Make sure you're communicating in different styles, getting to know each other in different ways, because if you are only getting to know somebody over text, right, that's really not getting to know. You don't know if he or she is lying about their situation. You don't know if they're it's just more authentic when you actually are able to have phone conversations, whether it's regular phone, FaceTime, and ultimately finding time to see each other and kind of experience each other and get to know each other in person.
Yeah, and I would say definitely, getting to know each other in your 20s versus getting to know each other in your 30s versus getting to know each other in your 40s, it should look completely different, right? So don't waste time when you're at the maturity stage. I'm going to say for our 30 and plus audience, when you're at the maturity stage, be concise, be direct, be upfront, be intentional. Those are some of the things that are very well appreciated, and you'll thank yourself later by not wasting your time by not letting things linger that you could have found out up front.
Yeah, I agree, and I feel like that's a good point. When you're getting to know somebody at different ages, teens, 20s, 30s, whatever, the conversations hit different, and hopefully by a certain age your life looks a little different, right? In your 30s, you might already have your career in place. You might have finished college, so it's not a college relationship. You might have kids, you know what I'm saying? So the things y'all will talk about are going to be different, and I think that's a future episode where when you're dating and getting to know and you are in a serious relationship, continue to get to know your person, because as y'all get older, things will change. So you want to continue to be locked in.
Yep. And I think that's important, right? As you're getting to know somebody, if you feel that you are afraid or you feel uncomfortable with asking a question, or the other person feels uncomfortable answering the question, it's time to go a different route, right? Because transparency is key. And there's a difference between transparency and honesty. Transparency is putting it out there up front so that he or she can make a decision on whether this works well with who they are as a person in this moment. If you've done the work, if you've been to therapy, if you've overcome adversity, if you've been in terrible relationships, or you experienced good relationships, but the other person wasn't ready to grow with you, those are things that you should have learned from. So at that stage in life, as you're getting to know somebody, if either one feels uncomfortable, chances are you're going to waste your time, right? There's also the piece of somebody being honest. Honest is after I ask you, after I tell you. It shouldn't be that way. Transparency is free, right? So as we get to know, we hadn't, had sex, maybe we hadn't been on a date yet, whatever the case may be. We're just trying to evaluate if this is something we want to continue to progress in our conversation and how we show up, and our authenticity and who we are as people and what we know and have grown from in the past.
Yeah, and when you're in the getting to know stage, and you make a good point, because if it doesn't feel right during this getting to know phase, you're talking on the phone, you're going out. If it doesn't feel right, like a good fit for you, don't waste your time. You're going to set yourself up for failure in the future. So you may not move on to stage 3. You may have to reset, get back on the dating market and start over. So follow your gut in those situations. And I feel like if things are going well in the getting to know phase, then things start to progress, right? And then you really go to stage 3.
Yeah. But before we move to stage 3,
okay,
I want to stop at stage 2 right here, right? Because I want to put a bookend on it. It's important. Ladies and gentlemen, come to the front of the congregation, right? We putting you right in front center on the couch as a part of our house guests. If you feel like at any point that your time is being wasted, move on, because you're wasting the other person's time as well.
Yeah.
Also in the getting to know you stage, and I'm coming for y'all this time. Ladies, the man is probably getting to know more than one. So you should too. It's perfectly fine to get to know, 2 or 3 people, I would say max. Again, do you is a comfort level and how you manage your time and whether you got kids and your career and all that stuff. But don't put all your eggs in one basket. We heard the old saying before, so that's important. Getting to know more than one person, that's fine, right? But when you're talking about going into the next phase, right, I think that's where the decision should already be made. You shouldn't be moving stages to stage with more than one person, if you're being intentional.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you raised a good point about keeping your options open, not having all your eggs in one basket. At the end of the day, you're still single at this point. You're still single. You don't have a ring on your finger.
Shout out to Yo Gotti.
You're not locked in. But I also think it's important to, depending on what you're doing in the getting to know phase. Personally, in the getting to know phase, I'm not having sex with somebody. If I'm just in the getting to know phase, we're not quite there yet. But if you're in the getting to know phase and you're also getting to know each other's body in that way, I think it is important to be transparent if you are getting to know other people at the same time.
Right. And I think getting to know, right, if you are intentional about getting to know the person that approach you, right, you need to understand that if there's a level of progression, your situationship that you got going on in the background need to fizzle out, so that you can spend more time and you can kind of focus more of your energy towards something that you're looking to pay off in the long run. Because it's important, right? Just like we talking business, just like we talking finance, that ROI, that return on investment. So what you put in, how you invest in yourself, how you invest in the other person, how you looking to get and gain value over the course of time as that interest build, right? You want to get a return off your investment, right? So whether that be a couple of weeks or a couple of months, it's important for you to set that timeline kind of in your head. And it's perfectly okay to have boundaries, right? Boundaries are important. If you come into the dating market and you don't have a sense of, well, I'm going to give this situation 6 months, or I'm going to give this situation 3 months to kind of see how it goes, then that's on you if time progresses, because time is moving, right? Time is continuous. It waits for nobody. So that's important as well. When you look back and be like, man, I wasted all that time on so-and-so and I didn't even get anything out of it. That's on you.
Yeah.
That's a level of accountability from a male's perspective and a female's perspective that you have to take ownership of, learn from, and move on.
Yeah. So there's a lot that goes into the getting to know phase. And you want to make sure that you take all of these things into consideration before moving on to the next phase, which is stage 3, the honeymoon stage.
Honeymoon.
This is like the butterfly stage, the infatuation phase. Like, you done dropped.
Infatuation phase. That's John Legend. Yeah.
Yeah, you done dropped the other people you were getting to know because you're like, no, this is somebody I'm taking serious. I want to pursue. I done dropped them other flies. So, yeah. So this is really exciting, right? When we think about the honeymoon phase, we think about how when you first get married, it's like all great and peaches and roses. Like, this is that phase for dating. It's like, you're just so infatuated with this person. Yep,
and I think in that butterfly, you're like, oh man, I wonder what she's doing. Oh, I wonder if she's thinking about me. Ooh, I'm gonna send her some flowers. Ooh, that's perfectly okay, fellas. You can send her some flowers. It costs you $10, right? Or $20 in inflation. But it's important to show your interest as well, right? We're adults. So telling somebody, texting somebody, on the phone with somebody, that's cool, but show it. What are you doing to show up? And ladies, if you're expecting something expensive during this infatuation phase, oh, he got to show me he loved me. He got to buy me a Birkin. I need a new AP. Cut it out. It should not take money to get to know a person, period, right? You're doing things out of the kindness of your heart. You're being benevolent based on your interest, and you want to show that interest. So the level in which he shows that interest should be appreciated and received well by the female.
Yeah. I think that's, we know a lot of women out here in the dating scene, even in the getting to know phase, they're expecting lavish gifts. But if that's the case and that's not something that you're willing to do, then you know that that's not the right person for you, and y'all shouldn't even get to the honeymoon stage.
Yeah, and I think, it's important during this honeymoon phase, like it's almost like if you drink energy drinks, right? It's almost like you take an energy drink and you are just giddy and you're going, right? So you running off adrenaline, you running off the dopamine, you running off emotions, you running off that good vibe and good feeling, where you want to make sure that you're doing the things necessary for the relationship or for the dating to continue to progress. Yeah, so during this infatuation phase and the butterfly phase, you're running off dopamine and adrenaline. It's kind of like an energy drink, right? You get it, right? So you want to know what the person's doing. You might be daydreaming about the person. You want to call it. You want to text them. You texting back fast, ladies. You texting back fast, fellas. That's cool, right? But here are the things that you have to watch out for during this butterfly stage, right? Am I letting my emotions overtake my logic?
Yeah, I mean, that's true. You have to check in with yourself during this phase and this process, because one, you want to make sure that it's mutual.
Right? Oh, absolutely.
Because I think sometimes when you're in a honeymoon phase, you're so you're on this. It is like a natural high.
Yeah,
you're on this high that you are not seeing clearly, and I a lot of women deal with this. Men do too, I assume. But you are infatuated with this person. You are in the honeymoon phase, but you are in it by yourself. And you don't see that because you're so infatuated with this person. You're so you think it's the best thing in the world, but because you're not in your right frame of mind for the most part, it could be one-sided. So make sure you're checking in with yourself. Make sure you give yourself a little bit of separation time so that you can come back and be like, oh yeah, I still feel this, versus finding out the hard way later on.
Yeah, and I think that's important too, right? Where the actions are mirroring the words as well. I've been guilty of it in the past, in my 20s, in my 30s, dating, even most recently, right? It's important that you're getting back what you put out, because that's that mutuality aspect that sometimes that we don't think about it. We think just because we're the man, like, hey, we got to lead and we got to do, which is true. There's a level of decorum, femininity, and reciprocity that should occur during this time where you are showing interest, genuine interest, and getting to know. I've been guilty of it in the past where I feel good, I feel confident that this may work out. So I may, show my appreciation or show my affection by gift giving or, showing a person love in their love language per se. And I'm guilty of it, but I think that's important to have that time to yourself to kind of sit back, evaluate, kind of let the dopamine and kind of let the oxytocin kind of settle down a little bit and realize like, hey, am I showing up in a way where that person is matching my energy?
Yeah, so don't get lost in the infatuation, but enjoy it. If you know it's mutual, if you really feel it, if it feels good, enjoy it, but don't get lost in it just because we're on a journey, right? We're on a path to building this family that we're looking for. So just check in with yourself. That's all that I'm saying.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And I think that's the piece, right? After you've had that conversation, after you've had that initial approach, after you've had time to converse, after you've had time to really understand about that person, whether you're out of jail or whether you see yourself progressing, it's okay to, I would say, continue to get to know that person, but continue to ask that person those intentional questions as time go on. What are some of the things that are your deal breakers? What are some of the things that you look forward to doing? What are some of the things that you think about future-wise when having kids, raising a family? What are your values on marriage? How did you grow up? what did your how long did your parents stay together, etc. Because these are all foundational values, core principles that should have been taught to us, or that we should have developed as an adult from learning as children.
Yeah, that's true. And I think during this phase, because this is a phase right before you really going to choose this person, right? So I think during this phase, it's important to see that person in different environments. That's something I'm big on. I want to see how you are in stressful environments. I want to see you in different elements so that I can know what to expect and how you handle different situations. That's going to show me who you are.
And what are some of those environments that you would like to see people in? What are some of those different environments?
Just different things. Some things you can plan for, some things you probably can't. But some environments could be, let me see how you are at a concert in front of a lot of people, or at a sports game. I mean, I literally dated somebody who I thought was the best thing in the world. I could say it was a honeymoon phase, right? And then we go to a baseball game and... Make sure you come back next week for part 2 of this conversation on the 6 stages of dating. If you're watching this video later on, make sure you look on our channel for the next part.